today, what the people want to know is how did you get into car audio, Big D?
My experience was 1987 or 88. I think it was 87. My brother, RX-7, so 1979 RX-7, a little small hatchback. He had 6 subs in the back, two 12s, two 10s, two 8s, all powered by Rockford Fosgate Punch 150. Alpha Sonic amp on the front, mids and highs. He had two 6.5s, a 5, and a tweeter in the door. And he had the really cool Sony CD player. He had the half-den cassette deck and also the XE8 EQ with the jumping little lights. So his car was like a disco on wheels, and it was just the coolest thing. Me being, a young kid, I wasn't able to drive yet, but that was awesome. So that just kind of changed me. What about you, Mr. Vega? What was your first experience?
All right, so the first thing that I remember is an old VW. It was a Bug, and it had two 18-inch Rockford Fosgates. I don't even remember the series. I don't remember the year. And I'm wanting to say it had a LA Sound amp on it. And, I was like, wow, I've never heard of anything like this at a concert anywhere. And I was like, I got to have it. I got to do something like this.
Did they actually in the back seat? Did they take up the whole back seat? Were they
Yeah,
walled?
there was, it was a wall. It's the first wall I ever seen. But it wasn't a wall. It was just a big box sitting there. It wasn't trimmed out or anything.
Okay. I was gonna say I don't know how you'd fit 18s in the because those VW Beetles
Yeah,
you had to
and
put in the
it was
front.
even angled somewhat like it wasn't just a flat. It was kind of like this because I don't know if they could even fit them side by side like this.
Probably not. What 200-watt amp on those 18s, something like that.
Yeah, but it sounded more like 10,000 to me.
Our first car audio purchase. I'll let you start on that one. What was your first car audio
Okay,
purchase?
Crunch CR10s in a box, a ported box with piezo tweeters, and then I'm just gonna jump in to my first system because this was my first system, a 1992 Chevy Celebrity station wagon. I unhooked the rear hatch door speakers, extended the wires, hooked them up to the Crunch 10s. That was my first system.
Sweetness. Hey man, it works. It works.
We took it to the lake. We turned the box around. I had as many people as I could fit in that station wagon, and we just jammed it. You know, Distortion, it didn't matter. You just turn it up as loud as it'll go.
Exactly. After the experience with my brother's system, and knowing when I was 15 that I was going to have a car. My parents were letting me drive one of their cars for a while, but they also said I could put a system in it. The very first thing I bought was the Sony CDX 7520 CD player head unit. This Sony CD player was one of the cheapest. I don't think it was the cheapest, but it was one of the cheapest CD players you could buy for a car, and it was $4.99 retail. The same shop that gave me the deal on the Sony had the MTX Blue Thunders. They had just come out. Since it's my first amp, I'm looking for something that's kind of budget, but I got two tens, so I wanted them to kind of, sound pretty good. So the first one I got was a Delta Sonic D360, which was 80 by 4. I can make that work, 80 watts per sub, and then I'll run the other 80 to the front
Right.
speakers. Yeah, that didn't work so good. The guy was nice enough at the shop to take it back because I think he sold me that amp for like 300 bucks. So went back to the shop, the guy that gave me the deal on the amplifier, and I was like, this 80 by 4 amp is not really working with my setup. I want to do something different. Well, he said, well, we've got this Alpha Sonic, which is a sister brand of Delta Sonic. You can get the 2100 version, which is 100 watts per channel, and then I'll give you this Delta Sonic D40, which is it was a very small, like 18 by 2 RMS amplifier for the front speakers. So I got the Alpha Sonic 2100 and the Delta Sonic D40, and that was my first setup.